Ever thought about stability? What is it? Is it real? Can you be stable in life? People crave stability at some point in their lives. Some people want it early on in life, others later. And of course, there are some people who don't want it at all. Here's the thing though, stability is an illusion. Nothing is static because the world is dynamic. And on a personal level, you are either improving or regressing. So ask yourself this, are you in a state of improvement or are you in a state of regression? In this video, I want to explain something that I've always believed in, although my conception of it has changed over the years. But I've always believed that stability is a myth, it's an illusion, and it doesn't really exist. The illusion of stability. When people usually talk about stability, they mean it in terms of life and work for the most part. But in this video, I will focus mostly on stability on a personal level, which of course also influences your work and your life. Stability in life could mean a lot of things, like safety, health, housing, and financial security, all of which are important things for a human to function and be productive. And some of these things can be outside of your control. Stability in terms of work could also mean many things, like job security, consistent income, career development, and maybe even predictable workload. Now, I'm not saying that having job security or consistent income and all of these things is a bad thing per se. No. What I'm saying is when you have all of these things, you stop trying. Put another way, stability, as understood by most people, simply means you are neither improving nor regressing. You are in a stable position. You do not need to do any more work on yourself or on your professional life to get anything else. You already have all you need. Now, theoretically, stability leads to a higher quality of life. However, all of this sounds good in theory, but the reality of life is different. The concept of regression. In nature, there is something called natural entropy, or the second law of thermodynamics, which states that without constant effort and energy to maintain order, everything tends towards disorder and chaos. This fact alone proves the inherent instability of life and why it manifests itself in every aspect: political, economic, natural, and yes, even on the personal individual level. In other words, if you are not constantly expending effort and energy to learn new skills or improve existing ones, you will start to regress and others will simply surpass you. Think of it in terms of health and fitness. If you stop working out, you are not going to stay fit. You will lose your muscles, endurance, and mobility. To maintain your level of fitness, you must keep working out. Once you reach a certain level of mastery, you can't just relax and enjoy it forever. No, you need to keep working at it to maintain it, and then working on it even more to keep on improving it. As for stability in terms of work and life, the same concept applies. In the early 2000s, regular people couldn't even imagine that the 2008 financial crisis would happen, which resulted in widespread unemployment and foreclosures. Nobody thought that the self-immolation of a street vendor in Tunisia would spark the Arab Spring, a series of protests and revolutions that turned the region into a hotbed of instability and civil unrest. Countless of other historical examples, from the fall of the Roman Empire to World War I and the Great Depression. Hell, just a few years ago COVID happened and it literally changed everything. A lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people changed their jobs, a lot of people couldn't even find a job anymore, and so on. Even the good things cause instability, like technological advancements. They do indeed improve the efficiency of our work, but they also disrupt industries. And by disrupting, I mean destroying or completely changing how an industry functions and your place in said industry. So nothing is stable, but for the purposes of this video, let's focus on what lies within our control to an extent, which is our place in the current marketplace. Your regular job is not stable. You are replaceable, either by people or machines. And so you have to be always ready for whatever comes next. Unless of course you are a government employee, in which case you have completely different incentives and you are completely insulated, well, almost insulated from the market forces, but you are also insulated from all the good stuff that comes with those market forces. So yeah, there is no such thing as stability, and you must be prepared to either be in a state of improvement or regression. Which brings me to my next point: continuous improvement. There are two kinds of continuous improvements. You either try to improve in one thing, one skill, and that's how you become a nerd, or you try to improve yourself from every aspect you can: physical, intellectual, social, and financial. And I personally experienced both. Many years ago, I was obsessed with magic. I would wake up every day and learn everything I can about magic. Tricks, skills, history, concepts, you name it. I was obsessed. At the time, I wasn't interested much in sports. Nor was I interested in school. Nor was I interested in anything that isn't related to magic. And so, I kept on improving in one thing. But then, I realized that being a good magician also requires a variety of other skills that are unrelated to magic itself. Public speaking, writing, showmanship, marketing, design, video editing, and, most importantly, the English language itself. And so, I found myself learning all these skills just because I wanted to improve that one thing that I was obsessed with at the time. And then I knew that to be a good performer, you must be presentable. And so I wanted to get into the gym and to be in shape and to look good. So if you think about it, one interest of mine, magic, has led me to learn and improve all the other aspects of my life. I might not be a working magician for reasons I shall not get into now, but it's because of magic that I learned all the necessary skills that I need to make something out of myself and find other opportunities. And I didn't stop there. I kept on improving and I kept on becoming interested in other things that would increase my value and basically help me improve as a person, both professionally and personally. Now let's imagine another scenario. Let's imagine I learned a few tricks and then I went on and decided to make a career out of them in the right environment, which is what many people do. And that's it. I won't learn anything else new. You think I would have become as interesting and multi-talented as I am today? Of course not. Now, this is exactly what happens to many people once they get a job that pays them good enough to simply stop pushing forward. If I believed in the stability myth, I would have convinced myself that I don't need to start a YouTube channel. I don't need to keep on improving my physical abilities. I don't need to learn a new language. I don't need to keep on reading books and think of other ways to make money. In other words, if I believed in the stability myth, you wouldn't be watching me right now. Which again brings me to my next important point: the consequences of not improving. Once you stop pushing forward, you are not in a static position. No. Regression starts to unfold. You start to lose your edge. And when you lose your edge, you will start to feel somewhat dissatisfied. Once you stop pushing forward, your existence will become boring. And by boring, I do not mean the good kind of boredom, And yes, there is good boredom and bad boredom, and I will do a video on this later. But you become bored in a bad way. As in, you are not looking forward to anything. You have nothing exciting coming up. You start to feel depressed and anxious for no reason. You start to resent yourself because you think you can do more, but you aren't doing more. This will not only affect your life professionally, but also personally. So, you need to do something about it. Strategies for continuous improvement. There is only one strategy for continuous improvement, and that is setting goals. You can set long-term and short-term goals and work on them. Any goal you have, you must chop it up into smaller tasks and get them done. When you get it done, you will feel that you are making progress. Short-term goals, once they compound, they turn into long-term goals. Now, of course, the reason why you need to make short-term and long-term goals is because long-term goals might not be achieved exactly as you envisioned them. Because life is random, and you don't know what's going to happen next week, let alone next year or 10 years later. So, you keep your long-term goal general, but you set clear and precise short-term goals. Be a lifelong learner. Always be willing to learn new shit. 1 hour a day learning new shit can literally change your life. Never shy away from learning, never shy away from taking a course, never shy away from reading a book, never shy away from joining a community, never shy away from being curious. 1 hour a day and maybe a few dollars invested in a good course, book, consultancy, community can have profound impact on your life. Reflect on your progress. Always reflect on your progress and analyze your trajectory. Are you making progress? Are you moving forward? How can you improve? What needs to change? When does it need to be changed? Always reflect and tweak your work and progress along the way. Be adaptable. This is the core idea of this video, adaptability. You need to learn how to become adaptable to new environments because life is not static. Life is not stable, so if you ain't adaptable, you ain't gonna survive. Bruce Lee said this best, be water, my friend.
I said empty your mind, be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
So, to wrap it up, stability is a myth. Don't expect it, don't seek it. Regression starts once you stabilize. You are either improving or regressing. The importance of continuous improvement. Continuous improvement keeps you sharp and ready for future opportunities. The consequences of not improving. Missed opportunities, job loss, and general dissatisfaction. How to improve. Set goals, short-term and long-term, and work on achieving them. Now, before I wrap up this video, if you are still watching, I want to congratulate you because you have what it takes to actually succeed, which is low time preference. I don't think this video is highly engaging. I don't think it's highly stimulating. So if you've watched it all, that means you can actually sit down and watch something interesting, something that provokes thoughts, I would argue. And that's not something that most people can do. So congratulations for that. Now I want to ask you, I want you to do me a favor. Now, I want you to think of an experience or a thought that you remembered while watching this video about stability or the dichotomy of improvement and regression. Have you ever experienced stability or regression? Have you ever lost a job because you got too comfortable? Have you ever improved because you couldn't just stay still? How was it? How was your experience? What are some of the thoughts that jumped into your head or you've thought about as you were watching this video? I want you to write them down in the comments below so I can read them and everybody else can see them. Share with me what you think, share with me your experiences. I am eager to read all of your comments. That's all I want to say. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.